Hi everyone, Chris here with another live. Oh, I should turn off my. Oh, I always do that. I don't turn off my notifications and then um, get lots of messages from people. Okay, so this week we're focusing on reading, on the IELTS reading test, and all the different things that you need in order to do well on the IELTS reading test. So I posted a thing earlier today and I emailed everybody about it. I'm going to do like a big live lesson tomorrow at 2 p.m. I think it is. Let me check. Yeah, 2 p.m. UK time on true, false, not given. Those are the types of questions that, oh, I can't speak today. Those questions are the ones that people have the most problems with. Those are the ones that I get the most questions about. The ones that everyone says, I hate true, false, not given. Can you help me out with that? So at 2 p.m. UK time tomorrow, we're going to go live. So all you have to do is just be on Facebook and you'll get a notification. And I'm going to do a full lesson where I will talk about why it is really difficult, a strategy, step-by-step strategy, and I'm also going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to do some questions live to show you how I would use that strategy. So please come along if you can make it tomorrow. But before that, I thought I would make a live lesson about skimming, scanning, and something called close reading, because tomorrow we're going to be talking a lot about these skills, these reading skills, and they're also things that people misunderstand. They don't really know what skimming is and what scanning is. One thing that really annoys me is when I ask students, like, how do you get a good score in reading? And they say, well, skimming and scanning. Well, what does that mean? What is skimming? What is scanning? When do you use it? When do you not use it? So I thought I would make just this short video talking about that a little bit, because we're going to be talking about them tomorrow and in future lessons. So it would be helpful. There is an article that I wrote about this, a very, very detailed article. You can just click the link above and it will give you everything you need in much more detail. But if you like video, stay tuned, we will talk about that. So there are three main reading skills: skimming, scanning, and close reading. Skimming is when you read the passage, read the text quite quickly to understand the general meaning. Scanning is when you look for specific information, and close reading is the most important skill. It is looking closely at the information in the text and understanding exactly what is happening in that part of the text so that you can find the correct answer. So they're three completely different things. So let's talk about them individually, and then we'll talk about a tactic that you can use. You can use them together in order to get the correct answer, because that's, after all, what we need. Let me see. Skimming, let's think about skimming as, imagine that you were 30,000 feet up in the air on an airplane, a city like New York, of where you are. So you might be able to see like the island of Manhattan, you'd be able to see Queens and Brooklyn and the Bronx, and see New Jersey over to the side. You'd be able to have a general idea of where you are in the world. That's kind of what skimming is. Imagine you're looking out the window of a plane at 30,000 feet just to see like what is happening, what generally where you are. So you're not looking at anything in detail, and it's definitely not going to help you get the correct answer. All it is just giving you a general idea of what is happening. Why do we use this? It is much easier to understand the question, understand what the question requires us to do, and it's much easier for you to find the answer if you know generally what is happening. It's just a natural thing to do. That's why when you read a newspaper, they have headings, subheadings, they introduce the topic to you, they give you background information. They don't just go straight into exactly what happened in that story. They give you general information first. And we use this skill, this skimming skill, every day, or if you're someone who reads newspapers every day. Like when you're reading a newspaper, you don't immediately read the first word in the newspaper and then just read every single word until the end. Well, maybe you are, but you're a very weird person if you do. What you do is you quickly read through the newspaper and decide, well, most people do this, decide which stories are of interest to you, which stories do you want to read in more detail, and which stories are just like, well, I have no interest in that. So you might, like me, I would look at the newspaper and I'd think, oh, there's football stories, I want to read that in detail. There's some stories about fashion or dieting or something like that, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to read that. So I don't read, if there was a story about fashion, I don't read every single word of that to establish that I'm not interested in it. I just quickly read it to see what it is. So we use this in the IELTS test to generally find out what is happening and understanding the general meaning of both the whole piece, the whole text, and the specific paragraphs that we're looking at. The second skill is scanning. When do we use scanning? So again, imagine that you are going to the cinema and you want, say you're with your girlfriend and she said, what time is Fast and the Furious playing? You're not going to read every single cinema time. You're not going to read every single movie. What you're going to do is you're going to scan and look for Fast and the Furious, and then you're going to find it quickly, and then you'll be able to establish what time the next one starts. So what you're doing there is you are using specific information, the name of the movie, to find where the answer is. Because the answer, so if your girlfriend said to you, what time is the next Fast and the Furious movie, the answer is not Fast and the Furious. You're scanning to find out where that information is so that you can find the correct answer. So that is, again, what you are doing in the test. You're not using scanning to establish the correct answer. You're using scanning to find out where the correct answer is. So you might use key information from the questions to locate where the information is. So scanning is really a location skill, locating where the information is, and it is a time-saving skill because you don't want to read the whole passage. You might want to skim the whole passage to understand what it is. Depends on what type of question it is, but in general you're going to look for specific information to find out where it is. The third most important, and the most important skill, number 3, is close reading. So this is where you pay attention to, so you found out where the information is, now you have to read carefully. And this is probably the skill that people use the least, and the one that is least understood, and the one that people overlook. So lots of people are, skimming and finding out general information and finding out where the answer is, and then they're not actually thinking about the answer, because a lot of the time they will be throwing in stuff to put you off, or there might be 3 answers that look kind of the same. So you're going to have to look and really think about the text and what it is saying, and then look closely at the questions and develop and find out what the real answer is. If you do that and you use those 3 skills in together, then you're going to do better. I don't know what's wrong today. I'm not making a lot of sense. My brain isn't working very well. Maybe it is, what time is it? It's near 7 p.m. and I'm still a little bit jet lagged, so if I'm talking nonsense, forgive me. So that is just a general, very, very general introduction to those 3 skills. If you want a very detailed explanation of those 3 skills, click the link above and it will take you to an article that I wrote when my brain was working a little bit better. So I'm not sure if I'm making sense at all. Maybe I need to work a bit less and get over my jet lag instead of plowing through my work that way. So let's see. I can't take that many questions because my battery is about to run out of my phone. Robbie, skimming and scanning doesn't help unless I do close reading. Perfect comment, Robbie. Yeah, that is correct. Just skimming and scanning is not going to help you get the correct answer. Use skimming and scanning as tools to help you find out where the answer is, and then use close reading to help you. Maninder, what is the best way to get answers of headings with the use of skimming and scanning? So I'm going to do a full lesson on matching headings, maybe on Friday or maybe on Monday. So get back with that. I can't tell you quickly because it just wouldn't work. Which books do you recommend? Fariz. Have a look, go to Google IELTS Advantage recommended books, and you'll find out all the books that I recommend. Robbie, close reading takes time, but ultimately you get the right answer. Yeah, like lots of people say to me, well, I don't have time to do close reading. Well, then you're not going to get any questions correct. Like, which one is more important? Is it more important that you get the answers correct, or is it more important that you read really quickly? It would be much, much better if people spent more time reading more carefully, less time skimming and scanning, and more time close reading, and that's really going to help you. Ali, how to find true, false, not given. We're going to do that tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Just be on Facebook and you'll be able to find it. Naveed, my son is calling for me. He says, "Ready, Daddy," which means I have to go because he's more important than you guys. You guys are important, but he's more important. Let me see if I can answer these questions quickly. Which newspapers or books can you recommend to improve my reading? Any books or newspapers that you're interested in. They're not specific books that are going to help you. Is the marking criteria for reading the same for academic in general? There is no marking criteria for reading. The main difference between general and academic is the type of text that you're going to get. Academic text for academic and general for general. Any advice for listening? Yeah, go to IELTSadvantage.com/listening. Okay, so the boss has told me, little Tom has told me that he's ready and he wants to go, so I better go. Hope that was useful. As I said, my brain isn't working very well this afternoon. I think the jet lag is catching up with me. So just click the link above and it will give you a very detailed explanation on those skills. Alright, hope to see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time for a very detailed lesson on true, false, not given. Bye bye.